Hello, welcome to another briefing. In this briefing, I'm going to start out with an overview of some of the temperatures we've had um, during this heat wave so far. I'm going to look at Tuesday here, just for the simplicity of time, and Tuesday was pretty much the warmest day for most areas, if you sort of look at it from a big picture. So we're looking at some very, very warm temperatures for March, record breaking for this month in many areas. You look at this temperature map and you might think we're in late summer or early fall in the Bay Area, but this is actually the middle of March. It's technically still winter, astronomically speaking. So, we saw 90s, widespread areas, quite a few areas with over 90 degrees in this were particularly inland, but even places like Santa Rosa, Novato, San Rafael. Um, you had parts of Oakland and Berkeley here with 90 degrees. You had 90 degrees in parts of San Francisco, particularly near the Twin Peaks area where you have a lot of down-sloping flow. Kind of compresses the air, makes it even warmer. You had 80 degrees all the way to Ocean Beach. Upper 80s in most of South Marin. My place hit 88. I'm just in the North Sausalito area, and it was 88 degrees. And it was 86 in Mill Valley. And Point Reyes, just the very tip of the peninsula, which is exposed to the water, which is usually in the 50s, if not colder, most of the year, was in the low 70s. And remember, we're in early March. It was 74 degrees at the tip of Point Reyes. That is very warm for this area. And then you go just a little inland, you go to Point Reyes Station, it's 88 degrees. Olima, upper 80s, all the way down the Marin coast there, around upper 70s, if not low 80s. It's very warm. So, going even a little bit further south here, 86 in Half Moon Bay, 84 SFO, 82 Oakland. We're looking at Tuesday once again because that seems to be the day with the most widespread heat all the way to the coast. Look at Santa Cruz, 92. Monterey, 90. 90 degrees at Monterey Airport. That's quite a lot. You look at Carmel, Pebble Beach area, close to 90 degrees. There's a 91 here in Carmel. Jeez. 91 degrees in Carmel. Mind you, a lot of these coastal communities, people don't have air conditioning. So when it's 91 and you don't have air conditioning, that can be pretty oppressive and pretty dangerous in some situations. Check in on your elderly neighbors, on your vulnerable populations, because you do not want to be in 90-degree heat with no air conditioning, and that unfortunately has been the case for many people across the Bay Area this week. Looking at these temperatures, this is just ridiculous for March. We would maybe be talking about this if we were in between June and July, August, September, even early October for some of the coastal areas. We do get some pretty big heat waves in October. We had a really big one just 2 years ago. Early October 2024, when we had 90s at the coast, we had 100s in many inland areas. But this is not September or October. This is not late summer, early fall. This is March. This is the end of winter. So, yeah. Not supposed to be seeing this at all, but we are. And those are some of the readings that we had. Just take a quick look at the satellite here. And you see, actually, this is from this morning, there is a little bit of fog trying to redevelop along the coast here. It's a little more widespread than it was yesterday. I'll show you going back here. You see This was yesterday morning. See, it was mostly confined to the north, and then yesterday during the day and then overnight it started to push further in. It actually did briefly hug the coastline, and it was much cooler this morning at my place than yesterday. Yesterday morning it was 58 in the morning, and this morning we had 52. So that fog layer being closer is helping to cool off some of those coastal areas, even if just slightly. And if we get enough of a persistent onshore wind, even if the fog layer itself stays slightly offshore, we will get some more cooling at the coast. And we could be talking upper 60s, mid 70s instead of upper 70s, mid 80s. So significantly cooler for a lot of the coastline if that fog really does establish itself and we at least get a stronger onshore wind in the afternoon. That could really help us out today. So that's something to look forward to as we look towards the end of this heat wave. Inland area is likely going to be hot again today and tomorrow. Looks like Saturday and Sunday more widespread cooling for everyone as that onshore push, the onshore wind really makes that push further inland. I wanted to just show you something interesting with the low temperatures. What's been going on lately? Let's even put today on there, because I find this very interesting, and hopefully you will as well. So you see here the lower elevations, areas that are flatter, particularly near the coast, but also just even a little further inland, areas that are flat. You had temperatures overnight down into the 40s. It can cool off quite a bit in these flat valleys, even during a heat wave or warm spell event. But up in the mountains, look at all these stations in the mountains around 70, 72, much, much warmer than it was down in the valleys. And that happens because of nighttime, what we call a nighttime inversion under radiational cooling. We have so much radiational cooling that an inversion forms at the low levels. Near the surface, you have much colder air and you have warmer air above it. And that cold air gets trapped below the warmer air. I did find a schematic here from the National Weather Service in Salt Lake City. And you can see here, this is just a very good explanation and demonstration of how the cold air sinks down from the local mountains and hills. I mean, you could just apply the same concept to pretty much anywhere where you have sort of mountains and hills or valleys, and you have this cold air sinking down and then pooling in the valley overnight, and that gets trapped under this layer of warm air. Under something like a big high pressure ridge like we have right now, we have a warm air mass that gets ends up above this colder air. This cold air sinks into the valley, it gets trapped, and you have cold air below warm air. Cold air is denser than warm air, so it's not going to break that layer until there's enough solar heating to kind of undo the inversion. And that is why you have such a difference that I was showing here on the map of the observed low temperatures. That's why you had 45 in Mill Valley, and you just drive up the mountain here just a couple miles, and it's 71. I mean, you could even go up vertically. If there were a mountain right here, you could just go up that mountain without even moving much horizontally, and you have much warmer air because of that inversion that I was talking about. So I think that's interesting to show. And then just take a quick look at temperature outlook for the next few days. I mean, today, tomorrow, you can already notice some of that cooling along the coast per the National Blend of Models here. This is just model guidance. Take it with a grain of salt. Best thing you can do, especially tracking the marine layer, which can be really hard to forecast, is look at satellite, look at where the fog is, look at the wind observations, see what's trending. If you're getting more fog, if you're getting more wind, expect it to be cooler. If you're getting less fog, if you're getting less wind, expect it to be warmer. But look at Saturday and Sunday. Look at cooling well down into the 70s and lower 80s for even for inland. Still very warm for March, but much cooler. This will feel much better than what we're having now. As we go into next week, that kind of stays the same, sort of warm above average, but at least much cooler. I don't like looking much at long-term guidance because it's just long-term computer model guidance. It's one projection based on what we have now, and the data isn't even always complete, always correct. There's just not enough data to have really reliable computer model forecasts. But this computer model is showing that heat dome definitely breaking down. As we go into the next few days, it will break down again a bit, and then maybe as we go into the end of next week, a little bit of cooler, actual like chilly air, and then like maybe into early April we get a much more of a cool down. But this is way far out, so take it with a heavy grain of salt. Just wanted to show it, just to give you an idea what we're looking at. Unfortunately, in terms of rain, it doesn't look like much. Maybe we get clipped, like Northern California, not the Bay Area, but Northern California could get clipped with a little rain with this little trough next week. But after that, it's pretty uncertain, although we should at least get more cold air, maybe something on the 30th, and then maybe that system on April 2nd, but even that kind of fizzles out, and that's way out, so take it with a heavy grain of salt. I just wanted to show it for the sake of showing it. So that's all I have for today. I hope you got something out of this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.